Dear fellow professionals, colleagues, and business owners, I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Uffizio and Melta Technology. Melta Technologies, thank you for making time to attend the webinar. We truly appreciate it. Today, Uffizio is co-hosting the webinar with Melta Technology. Melta Technology is Uffizio's one of the many hardware partners. Melta is a Russian-based company and an expert at developing manufacturing devices for satellite and GPS fuel management systems. I still see more and more people are getting joined. So while do they do so, I would like to mention few point announcements. Please note that the technical support team from both the companies will be present during the webinar and they will be available all the time to answer your questions. So if you have any issues or concern during the webinar, please feel free to type in Q&A box. There is also a time allocated at the end of the session where the speaker to answer the questions. So stay tuned for that. For your convenience, this webinar is being recorded and a copy of the webinar recording will be shared at the end of this session. In my experience, most businesses depend on the transportation. It could be as simple as getting your manufactured product from the production unit to the delivery hub, or as complicated as planning and managing multiple delivering routes to get your products delivered to the right stores. Either way, it is impossible to neglect the importance of transportation. This being said, the industry faces a lot of challenges. The most important one is the fuel theft. When I say fuel theft, I know most people think of a guy siphoning fuel from the fuel tank, which is a pretty common method. It isn't the only way to steal the fuel, there are many more. Sometimes fuel gets stolen before it gets into the fuel tank. For example, gas station frauds, pipe theft, underfilling, and it could go and on and on. My point being that the fuel is an expensive commodity and can be easily misused or stolen. For most fleet managers, fuel is an investment. They expect to see the reasonable return from it. But when the fuel resource is much important, but there is a stolen. So how can they do so? That's why today we'll be addressing the issue and hopefully you will be having an ideal solution to prevent fuel theft by the end of this session. This session on fuel management will be conducted by myself and my colleague Terry. A little about myself. I am Vinit Bhadra and I am a customer support executive at Uffizio. I have worked with clients from all over the world and I've had a great ideal experience in configuring the fuel management system for them. Terry, would you like to introduce yourself now?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Vinit. I'm Obidjanova Mushtariy. I work as business development manager for Mielta technology company. I guess before we start with this presentation, we should introduce our companies as well. Would you like to go first, Vinit?
Sure. Uffizio. We are the software people. We expertise in delivering telematics and IoT software services. Our products use of GPS technology to provide business with actionable data so they can scale more and more profits. We have helped businesses of all types and sizes, but don't just take our words for it. Here are some statistics. We have got 20 years of experience and are well known for our customization and on demand integration with more than 500 plus channel partners, 1200 plus integrated devices, 500,000 live assets, and 50,000 happy users. We continue to stand tall in the telematic industries. Now let's learn about the Melta technologies.
Thank you so much, Vinit, for great work. Mielta Technology is a Russian company that develops and produces 70 different types of equipment for satellite monitoring and fuel control. We are one of the fastest growing companies with over 8 years of project experience. We have managed to reach over 30 countries during this time. Our team of talented engineers has created a range of unique products which are one of a kind. Every month, Mielta produces over 10,000 devices. Other than that, we also believe in supporting research and development projects for new products. Over to you now, Vinit.
Okay. Getting back to the agenda of this meeting, let's discuss fuel management systems. A fuel management system is a combination of software and hardware systems. It enables fleet managers to track, control, and optimize the use of fuel, which ultimately save costs. It, effect, it effectively measures fuel levels and is much more reliable than manual tracking. Using our AI algorithm, you can easily identify the overfuel consumption because of poor driving behaviors. On the other hand, you will recognize underfillings and fueling cost frauds which are taking place for your fleet. We can help you to eliminate fuel theft by setting runtime alerts for siphoning or sudden drops in the fuel levels. Okay, now we will see how actually the fuel management system works. Information about the fuel tank level is obtained in real time using a hardware sensors installed in the vehicles. Sensors can detect the slightest change in the level of the fuel. Most sensors need to be calibrated as to get the accurate and precise data. For instance, the movement of fleet uphill or downhill causes fluctuation that affects the fuel readings. That's why we advise you to do dynamic as well as static calibrations. That will increase the validity of the sensor reading. Data collected from the sensor is uploaded on the internet and where it can be read or interpreted for the further use. So it can be another anytime on the web application. Fleet managers can view it and use it for further reportings. Now Terry will discuss the benefits of using a fuel management system.
Thank you, Vinit, for telling us all about the fuel management system. While the benefit of using fuel management system are self-evident, I would like to expand on few and added. For example, data accuracy. Just like Vinit mentioned it, one of the most important benefits of using fuel management system is that you will have access to accurate data. Since fuel costs are one of the biggest expenses, in fact, they make up for almost 35% of total operating costs. So with accurate data, your fingertips, you will be able to identify abnormal fuel drops and hold your drivers accountable. Speaking of eliminate of theft, going off that, with fuel management system, you will be able to set alerts and get notified in real time. So if an attempt at fuel theft is made, you will be the first one to know. Prevent siphoning, underfueling, idling, or any other unauthorized actions with the fuel management system. Built-in fuel economy. We know that poor driving behavior is like idling. Harsh braking, overspeeding can cost actually more than you think. Problematic drivers maintain ideal fleet mileages, and hence they cannot fully utilize fuel. Avoid this form of fuel wastage by setting alerts for reckless driving. So, if we are talking about reduced cost, with the lesser idling, no fuel theft, and proper fuel utilization, you are bound to uncover savings. Reduced fuel costs mean you already have your foot forward. Therefore, for great profit and lower operating costs, I highly recommend a fuel management system. If we are talking about tracking cost per mile, with the useful charts, reports, and tool to analyze data, you will exactly know how much you are spending on fuel per mile. This really helps you break down costs and to understand which vehicle are costing you more than others. Transparency. I think this is the most important one. Since
Yes.
your drivers are not on the road, since the drivers are on the road, you cannot always be around them, of course, when they refill the fuel tanks. But most fuel thefts take place during refueling. But you don't have to worry because we have a solution for this. Whenever driver refills the gas tank, they can upload the fuel expenses receipt and you can check if the amount of the fuel, new fuel level, is matched with the receipt. If it's less, then you can hold your driver accountable and ask them what went wrong. That way you will always know if your fleet are getting refilled properly or not. So to get now all this result, I would like to offer our fuel level sensor. Now let's see how Mielta wireless fuel level sensor Phantom can help you to get accurate data readings. Mielta Phantom is a wireless fuel level sensor with the completely new component base. It's equipped with the Bluetooth Low Energy 5.0. And of course, if you are familiar with our company, you know that our products are designed mostly to prevent theft. Its first anti-theft feature is offline operation and writing data to the black box, which prevents data loss in the event of transmission failure. In other words, even if the vehicle is not connected and the fuel level sensor data did not reach the server, your data will not be lost. Instead, it will be stored and written inside the inbuilt memory of the sensor. Next, our fuel level sensor is equipped with the shielding sensor. It detects, records if any attempt was made to disrupt the signal by covering the sensor. It also writes the time of the event and duration of this event. The sensor is also equipped with the drain detection system, which detects and records drain and refills directly inside the sensor without processing data through the monitoring system. The sensor is also equipped with an accelerometer that measures the angle of inclination and accordingly shows accurate fuel level, even on a slope. The most important thing as well, the sensor supports for multiple data transfer formats, which is compatible with other fuel level sensor, will make you easier to replace the sensor of other models. Mielta Phantom can perfectly work with the different fuels, unlike the rest. For instance, our fuel level sensor Phantom can work with the eco fuel. Probably you have heard, if you know, let me explain. Ecofuel is a mixture of petrol and ethanol and is used in a lot of countries, mostly in Latin America, and very, very few sensors can work with that fuel. So this is all, like this is some features of our hardware, but the most main thing, the hardware cannot anyway work alone. Anyway, it needs the help of software. So I think about software offering. Over to you, Vinit.
Thanks for the wonderful explanation, Terry. Now
Welcome.
we will look into the software functionalities. Software feature provides analytical reports, comparisons, and analysis. Through our application, you can get comparative fuel reports so fleet managers can insights fuel expenses, its consumptions, and savings. Fill drain visual charts. No real-time events. Identify any suspicious activity. Get fill and drain event details. Know how they exactly took place and get complete visibility into fuel levels. We have our application dashboard. We have got very powerful dashboard also. It will give you instant fuel related updates for multiple fleets. You are guaranteed to have accurate data at all time with the help of our dashboard. You will get the real-time alerts for fuel refilling, theft, or fleet idling on the web, Android, and also on the iOS application. Software also provides you the feature of calculating and understanding your fuel cost per mile. The application is based on the cloud storage. We also provide 24 by 7 support. Now coming to the scope of application. Now I would like to talk more about how fuel management systems are deployed by varieties of industries. As you can see on the screen, business involved in trucking logistics, transportation, delivery vehicle management, hire and rental all need a fuel management system. All industries that require fleet requires a fuel management system as well. Today I want to take the opportunity to discuss a sector that might surprise you because it feels unlikely to deploy a management system here. Yes, I am talking about the marine vessels and ships. The global marine fuel optimization market is growing rapidly. Marine fleets and ships need fuel management system to monitor fuel levels from the shore. Marine fleets are in transit for several months, and during this time, ship owners or managers need to access the fuel metrics. Besides, the marine industry has to comply with the government rules and regulation, meaning they need to have a watch on carbon emission or fuel wastage. All this can be effectively managed with the help of fuel management system. Also, we know this for a fact that fuel theft is everywhere. To prevent this, you will need alerts and fuel level details. As compared to the transportation industry, the detection of fuel theft in the shipping industry is harder. This is because ships have to be managed remotely. Depends data needs to be reported on the real time and the profit analysis is required constantly. The consumption of the fuel in shipping is immense. For all these reasons and many more, the implementation of the fuel management system is extremely important. Now Terry will share us a live use case, so let's hear from her.
Thank you so much, Vinit. Yes, I would like to share some case. Um, we sent some samples of Mielta Phantom to our partner in Brazil. The aim of project was to reduce the, of course, fuel expenses. But first, what it came to our mind, like if the Mielta Phantom could handle it. So the main feature of Project Brazil were widespread use of eco-fuel. As I mentioned before, it was petrol plus ethanol. Actually, most of fuel level sensor cannot handle it, cannot work with such fuel. Of course, it was diverse landscape like plains, steeps, ascent, descents. So we thought the inbuilt accelerometer will help correctly detect the level of the fuel in variety of slopes, the long transportation and storage of the sensor. Our fuel level sensor Phantom went a very long journey. I think you can imagine from Russia to Brazil, it's very long distance. But due to an efficient energy saving system that works when the sensor is in horizontal position, the battery didn't affect it. Our Brazil partner has already tested Mielta Phantom wireless fuel level sensor and confirmed our expectation. Stable operation of the sensor with the Brazil ethanol fuel, saving battery power during transportation and storage, the reduction in fuel cost, correction of the fuel level with the angle of inclination of the vehicle. These both cases, which shared even Uffizio, even our, are connected actually by one feature. I think it's new equipment, due to which integrators right now, even end customers, were able to solve their issues that the old equipment, like outdated equipment, could not solve it. Today, we live in a fast changing world in which old proven solutions do not always give us expected effect. I'm coming to the point that now complex technology are becoming easier and no need to respond the customer with the refusal. So thank you. This is Vinit. Now over to you.
Thank you for sharing the experience in Brazil. It sounds
Welcome.
interesting. And
Yes.
also I want to share the experience of our own use case that one of our channel partners has deployed the fuel sensors in
Mm-hmm.
the ships and marine, which I have discussed earlier in the scope of application. And
Mm-hmm.
they have calibrated multiple sensors, and the managers has got the analytics of multiple tanks available in the ships. So the
Mm-hmm.
ships containing the reserve fuels can also be maintained, and they can also know that what where the fuel is getting waste and what is the fuel consumption done through.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the major use case currently in the ships and marines level. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now coming to the Q&A session. Now Terry and I will be taking the questions. If you have any doubts on fuel management related questions, now is the time to ask them. And also we have our email IDs on the screen. So you can share us any query that our technical team will get back to that.